great to be with you guys again in some form or fashion. I miss you guys. It's nice to think that we can share the same practice in this fashion anyway, but not the same as being in the room together. And I do look forward to the time when we can practice once again in the same room. Regardless, thanks for allowing me to be part of your practice today. I'm glad you joined in. We're going to move through a Vinyasa flow, similar to my regular flow. Those of you that are used to practicing with me, we'll start in the same way we usually do with a little embodiment and breath work. You can lie on your backs in a relaxed position if you like. For the sake of being able to talk a little more clearly, I'm going to stay in the upright position. And actually, you could stay right here with me and just place your hands at your lower belly or on your thighs, your knees, whatever feels comfortable. But if you like, go ahead and take a relaxed position on your back. Either position, seated or on your back. If you choose to lie on your back, you might allow your feet to be on the mat, knees bent, or your legs fully outstretched, whatever feels best to you. If legs are outstretched, perhaps your heels a little closer together, your toes, the tops of your feet splayed out, just allowing your legs, your feet to relax. You might close your eyes, if not, just a soft gaze. Notice your collarbone. Allow some wideness across the collarbone. Take a moment to walk your shoulders in under the back just a bit more. Back and down, away from the ears. And just take a few moments to find your way to the mat mentally. You've arrived physically. Congratulations on that. And take a moment to start to set aside distracting thoughts. And just find your way to the mat mentally as well. Maybe noticing just the sound of my voice, the sound of the music in the background, the feel of the mat beneath your skin, just beginning to block out other things and find yourself focused on your breath, your body, what's happening on the mat. And then begin to bring some awareness to your breath. Don't feel that you have to change anything about it. Just notice the rhythm of your breathing as you breathe in, breathe out. Maybe noticing the air as it enters the nose, the warm air as it exits. Maybe the sound of your breath. And then begin to notice the movement through your torso as you breathe in and out. If you're on your backs, you may choose to even place your hands on your lower abs, your belly, at your hip points. If you're in the seated position, you can keep your hands on the thighs, the knees, or if comfortable, you can place your hands on your belly. As you inhale, feel the air as it enters the belly expanding, the ribs then widening, the chest rising. And as you exhale, the chest falling, ribs contracting, belly sinking. Again, on the inhale, belly expands, ribs widen, the chest rises. And as you exhale, the chest falls, ribs contract, belly sinks. 3 to 5 more nice deep breaths here, just continuing to notice that rhythm in your breathing, the movement in your body as you breathe in, breathe out. Just seeking to perhaps slow our breathing a little bit. Nice deep breaths. And then as you're ready, you're going to start to bring a little movement to the body. You might wiggle your fingers, your toes. bring the palms together, circle the wrist for a moment, maybe creating figure eights with the wrist. If you're lying on your back, legs extended, you could rotate your ankles one direction and the other. I'm going to join you on your back. If you're in a seated position with me, just lie on your back on your mat. We'll keep knees bent, feet on the mat. And as you're ready, on an inhale, let's bring the peace fingers around your big toe. I like to call this half happy baby in yoga class. If you're familiar with happy baby, you understand that. We're just bringing a little openness to this right hip. The left hand can rest on the floor beside you. You might choose to widen it to a T, just letting it rest on the ground to the side of the body. And on the inhale, we're going to bring that foot, cross it over the left knee. As you exhale, wrap the hands behind that left thigh. Start to pull that left thigh to the chest. Your left leg might be bent or straight, whatever feels best to you. You can use that right elbow to create a little leverage here and open that right hip just a bit more, really feeling the stretch at the back of that thigh into your glute. On the exhale, we'll bring that left foot to rest on the floor, widen the arms to a T. And your next exhale, let the right foot drift to the left side of the mat. You can keep your gaze to the ceiling here or take it to the right hand. Your eyes might still be closed. 5 to 8 nice deep breaths here. Think about that breath filling that right side of the body as we're creating a little extra space here. And your next inhale, bring the knees back to center. We're going to uncross the legs on the exhale. Your inhale, lift the left foot, wrap the peace fingers around that left big toe. And again, just to open the left hip here. As you exhale, we'll cross that foot over the right knee, inhale rather. On the exhale, we'll wrap the hands behind the right thigh and start to pull that right thigh to the chest. Again, using the left elbow if you like to create a little leverage there. Right leg bent or straight, whatever you like. Perhaps the foot flexed, you can get a little bit of a hamstring stretch there as well. Exhale, bring that right foot to ground. We'll widen the arms to a T on the inhale. Exhale, let the left foot drift to the right side of the mat. Gaze to the ceiling or the left hand, eyes closed if you like. Nice deep breaths here. Inhale, we're going to bring those knees back to center and cross the legs on the exhale and begin to tuck the legs to the knees to the chest. We're going to wrap the hands around the shins. You can just hold your hands right there below your knees. You can bring palms to opposite elbows, whatever feels good. You might tuck tight for a moment, perhaps lift the head, bring the forehead to the knees. And maybe a little side to side rock. Whatever feels good here. We're going to come into a seated position. If you like to rock front and back to get there, you can do so. from our seated position, a little bit of upper body flow here. On the inhale, nice tall spine. Imagine the crown of your head being lifted toward the ceiling, perhaps a string at the crown of our head lifting us toward the sky. As you inhale, we're going to bring the arms into the air, stretch up. Your exhale, take your right hand back, let your left fall to the opposite knee. Lengthen the spine on the inhale. You're going to twist, look over that right shoulder on the exhale. Your next inhale, extend that right hand over the head. Reach out over the opposite knee. Imagine the crown of your head pointed that same direction. You're feeling a stretch here through your right shoulder, down that right side, the right portion of the upper back. And exhale, bring both hands to opposite knees, round the back, lower your chin to the chest. We're going to take a couple nice deep breaths here. Allow some space between your shoulder blades. Your inhale, let's bring those hands into the air once again. Nice stretch up. Exhale, left hand back, take the right to the opposite knee. Lengthen the spine on the inhale, grow taller. Exhale, twist, look over that left shoulder. 5 to 8 breaths here. You can continue to find a little length in the spine on your inhale. Maybe twist a little deeper on the exhale. Beginning of our practice, so we're not looking to go real deep. And the inhale, extend your left hand over the head, over the opposite knee. Exhale, both hands to opposite knees, round the back, again, chin to chest. Exhale, release. Little cat-cow. Let's come to tabletop position. Your wrist below your shoulders, knees below the hips, just hip width apart. Fingertips spread nice and wide. Sometimes in class we talk about an L shape between the thumb and the pinky finger. Your other 3 fingers just splayed evenly between. On your inhale, allow your belly to sink. Open the chest, gaze up. As you exhale, round the back, draw your belly button to the spine, lower chin to chest. Inhale, belly drops, chest open, chin up. Exhale, round the back. Bring your gaze toward your navel, tuck the tailbone. Continue at your breath pace. And some of you that practice on a regular basis, if you have other movements you like to play around with, as we're in Chakravakasana cat-cow, feel free to add any other movements. Some of you like to rotate hips. Sometimes peeking over one shoulder and then the other. Finding a little flexibility in the spine, laterally, if you will. Let's come back to that neutral tabletop. We'll meet up there. We're going to keep the hips right where they are, just above the knees. As you exhale, start to lower your forearms to the ground. Imagine allowing your chest, your heart, to melt into the mat. Our forehead's going to come to rest on the mat. Continue to extend your hands forward. You're getting a really big shoulder stretch here. The more stretch you like, just continue to take those hands forward to the top of the mat. If it becomes too much on your shoulders, just rein that back in. This is puppy pose. 3 to 5 breaths here. And exhale, let's fall back into our first child's pose. Bring those big toes together. I'm going to create a little more space between the knees, allow my hands to walk forward. Once again, hips rather, planted on my heels, bringing that forehead to rest on the ground once again. Any arm position here you like. If you want to continue to keep hands outstretched, do so. You can bring hands above the head, prayer position, or even behind the back. As you're ready, we'll come back to our tabletop position. Once again, knees below the hips, wrist below the shoulders, just a neutral spine. Little tabletop extension here. As you're ready on the inhale, let's take our right foot back, our left hand forward. We're just going to pull this in on the exhale. You're going to extend on the inhale, pull it in on the exhale. You're looking for stability in that left thigh. Let your neck here just naturally extend from your spine. Nice slow movement, simply match to your breath. As you extend, press through your heel. Imagine being able to put a footprint on something back there behind you. And this next time as we extend, you've got the option to hold it right there, bird dog position, or if you choose, sweep the foot right, your hand left. Breathe through it, core immediately engaged. One more nice deep breath here. And exhale, pull it in. A couple cat-cow before we do that other side. Letting the belly sink on the inhale, chest is open, chin lifted. Exhale, round the back, draw the belly button to the spine. Coming back to that neutral tabletop, we'll do this same thing with the opposite side. So we're going to extend the left leg back, right hand forward. Your exhale, pull that in. Again, on the inhale, press through the heel, reach with those fingertips, grow long. Exhale, draw it in, your breath pace. Neck naturally extending from the spine. One more time. And again, the option to hold there in that bird dog position or sweep the leg left, the hand right, your thigh and arm as best you can parallel to ground. Left wrist is still planted just below the shoulder. Fabulous job. Exhale, bring it in. And let's come upright for a moment. You can continue to face the direction you are. I'm going to turn toward you guys. If you have blocks handy, you can grab your blocks. You don't need them, but you can grab those if you want. I'll show you a modified camel. We do this together in class sometimes. We're going to start with gate latch pose. My knees below the hips. Nice tall spine. Crown of the head stretching toward the ceiling. When you're ready on an exhale, just take that right foot out to the side. Your toes might point toward me, your camera, or they might point to the side, whatever's comfortable for you. On the inhale, we're going to reach up, stretch up. As you exhale, just side bend to that right leg. Just get a stretch down the opposite side of the body. And inhale, reach back up, stretch. Exhale, bring those hands into heart center. Let's take that opposite leg out. Same thing there. Doesn't really matter which direction the foot points. Hip is below the knee. Nice tall spine here. Again, inhale, reach for the sky, stretch up. Your exhale, bend to the left. Hand can rest at the thigh, or you can keep both hands in the air, whatever you like. Inhale, bring it upright. Exhale, sweep it back in. Camel pose. If you've got blocks and you want to take a modified camel, you can place those blocks at your ankles. I'll demonstrate full camel and the modified. If you're practicing this late in the evening, this can be an energizing pose, so you might just choose to keep it low key and take the modified version. Again, ears over shoulders, hips, knees. We've got that nice upright spine to begin. Let's bring the hands behind the lower back. My fingertips are spread wide. I'm bringing the pinkies close together. Pull your elbows in as close together as you can. Shoulders back and down away from the ears. As we inhale, we're going to press the hips, the hip points, thighs, belly forward. Open the chest and just start to let that head fall back. You can stay right here, just a little bit of a back bend. My feet are resting on the ground. You can also bring your toes to the ground, whatever's more comfortable for you. Modified camel, you're going to reach back for one block and then the other. Your hands really positioned however you choose. Full camel, you can bring one hand to the heel and then the opposite, allowing the head to fall back in that shoulder pocket. Couple nice deep breaths there. Don't feel you have to stay anywhere any longer than you want. As you're ready, you'll come out the same way you came in, bringing one hand to the lower back and then the other. And exhale, bring those hands back to ground. Let's just sink back into a child's pose. You can set those blocks aside if you had them. Hips sinking back onto your heels. Just nestle those hips onto the heels. Comfortable space between your knees. Once again, walk the hands forward. Heart is melting into the mat, your forehead resting on the ground. 2 to 4 deep breaths here. And your next inhale, let's slide forward to plank, shoulders above the wrist. Fingertips still spread nice and long. Nice plank position, strong line from your shoulders to your heels. Exhale your first down dog. Press through those hands, take the hips high as we drive heels down. You might find it helpful to widen your stance as you come into that or keep some bend in the knees, whatever feels good. Press the chest toward the thighs. We're lengthening here from our wrist to our hips. And take a few moments to do what feels good here. Maybe walk it out left and right. Stretching out your toes. Swaying the hips left and right. All of the above. Couple of sun salutations. Your inhale, take a peek forward. As you exhale, step or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, take those hands high, reach up, stretch out. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, bring the hands to the sky, reach up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, flat back, look forward, hands to your shins. Exhale, bend those knees, plant the hands, step back to plank. Lower into chaturanga on the exhale. We're going to hover over the mat. You can bring knees to the ground for this as well. If you're in this hovering chaturanga, tops of the arms parallel to ground. As you inhale, press through the mat, open the chest. As you exhale, flip the feet, down dog. I'll offer modifications for certain things throughout. As always, this is your practice, so anything that doesn't feel right to you, even if I haven't offered a modification, you feel free to do what feels good for you. You know your body, so trust the messages that it's sending you. Another sun salutation. On the inhale, take a peek forward. Exhale, step or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, take those hands high. Reach up, stretch up. Let's stay here on the exhale. Your inhale, a little bit of a back bend. Our camel pose warmed us up for that. Keep your gaze to your fingertips if it's comfortable. If not, just bring your gaze forward if you need to. And come up out of that just a bit. Your next exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up, stretch up. Exhale, swan dive forward. On the inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, plant those hands, step back to plank. Flow through your vinyasa as we lower into chaturanga. Again, modification, bring the knees to the ground. Lower the top portion of the body to the mat. As you inhale, press through the hands. Nice strong shoulders here, chest is open. Exhale, flip the feet, down dog. Let's make our way through a yoga flow. First portion of our standing sequence. On the inhale, bring your right foot into the air. As you exhale, we're going to find our hip opener here. Bring your heel towards your glute. You can hold it. Some folks here like to draw little circles with their knee and rotate the hip a little bit, so whatever feels good to you. Inhale, take that foot high once again. As you exhale, sweep it forward. My left hand stays at ground. You can also use a block here if you like. Inhale, I'm going to stretch the right hand to the sky. Reach up, stretch up. Gaze simply to the side of the room or maybe your lifted hand. Exhale, bring hands to ground. Inhale, pivot and plant the back foot. Widen your arms to a T. We're going to find our warrior two. Shoulders are over hips here. Shoulders are soft despite our lifted arms. Core engaged. Most of the weight in my heel of the front foot. Back foot, I'm pressing into the outer edge of my foot. Let's do a little arm work here. On the inhale, we're going to bring those hands in, reach up, create some big circles. As you exhale, take the hands down, we'll bring them back into heart center. Inhale, reach up, big circles. Exhale, bring it into heart center. Let's reverse direction. Inhale, take the hands wide, create those big circles. As you start to exhale, bring the hands together, palms together, hands to heart center. One more time, your breath pace. I think I have a hair dangling from my hand. You guys can probably see it in the light. Your next inhale, let's bring those hands wide to warrior two. Inhale, straighten the front leg, reach, hinge forward. Your exhale, triangle pose. Allow your right hand to sink, left hand stretches to the sky. Notice my right hand isn't at the ground. Right hand can float here in space or at the shin. I'm just looking to line up the back of my head, my shoulder blades, and my bottom in the same plane. If you really want to find some core activation here, on the inhale, engage that core. Bring those hands to either side of the ears, reach, and your exhale, bring it back out. And one more time if you choose to. Biceps to either side of the ears. Exhale back to triangle. You can really feel that if you try it. Exhale, put a bend in the front leg. Step back to plank. Flow through your vinyasa. Couple breaths in your down dog. Let's do the same thing on the other side. I'll have my back to you in part of this, but I think it's useful for you to see my back at times as well. Inhale, take the left foot into the air. As you exhale, bring it forward. Inhale, we're going to bring that left hand into the air. Right hand stays at ground this time. Again, your gaze just to the side or maybe the lifted hand. Think about pulling your hips together here. We're narrowing this pose along the center line of the mat, revolved side angle. Exhale, bring both hands to ground. Inhale, warrior two. Pivot and plant the back foot. Fan those arms wide. Shoulders over hips. Just take a moment to find your pose. Strong grounding, your legs and feet pressing down. Core lifted, pulling up and in. And again, those arm circles as you exhale. Inhale rather. Let's bring arms together. Start to take those hands to the sky. Reach up. As you exhale, letting the hands fall, bringing the hands to heart center once again. Just let the rotation of the arms happen naturally, whatever feels good to you in terms of when you're rotating the arms inward and when you're rotating them out. Let's reverse directions. One more time, your breath pace. And your inhale back to warrior two. Your gaze over the front middle finger. Inhale, let's straighten the front leg. Reach as far as you can. Exhale, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Option to stay right there, or if you Like a little more core engagement on the inhale. Engage that core. Bring the biceps around the ears. Exhale back to triangle. Inhale, arms around the ears. Exhale back to triangle. Your next exhale, put a bend in that front leg. Take the hands to the mat. Step back to plank. Let's hold right there for a moment. A little bit of work before we go down. Side plank on each side. Modified side plank. You're going to bring your knee under your hip. Line up the foot with the knee and the wrist. Notice my wrist is just under my shoulder. On the inhale, I'll just sweep this hand into the air. You can stay right there and stretch. If you choose to take a full plank, you're going to stack your, again, shoulder over wrist. You're going to stack your ankles, hand into the air. Even star plank as an option here if you want to lift that other leg into the air. Your exhale, bring it back to plank. Let's do the same thing on the other side, either the modified with knee to the ground or full plank. Left shoulder over the wrist. Exhale back to plank. Your next exhale, down dog. Couple of breaths there. Stretch it out. Find that length in the spine. Length from wrist to hips, actually. On the inhale, slide forward to plank. Flow through your vinyasa. Come to child's pose as you're ready, no hurry. Any arm position you choose as you come into child's pose. 3 to 5 deep breaths there. Take a little break. Actually, not really a break. Use the time to come back to your breath. Refocus. And your inhale, once again, let's reach those hands forward. We're going to slide forward to plank. Exhale, down dog. Same foundation for our flow. We're going to add some more to it. From your down dog, on the inhale, take that right foot into the air. Exhale, sweep it forward. Left hand stays at ground. Inhale, right hand high, revolve to side angle. Bring that right hand forward. As you're ready, just lining it up side as if you're trying to follow that line from your back heel to your right fingertip. Inhale, take it back to the sky. Exhale to ground. Inhale, plant the back foot. Widen the arms, warrior two. We're just going to hang out in this warrior two for a moment. Shoulders over hips here. Again, find your grounding. Pressing through the heel of the front foot into the outside edge of the back. Usually your heel and your arch lined up fairly closely in warrior two. Inhale, triangle. Straighten your front leg. Create length from your hip to your armpit. As you exhale, finding that back body alignment. Your next inhale, we're actually going to straighten or put a bend in the front leg. Let that right hand come over the head toward the back of the room. Reverse warrior. Again, strong grounding, big bend in the front leg. Pressing through the outside edge of the back foot. Pulling the core up and in. Your exhale, side angle momentarily. We're going to flow a little bit here. Just bring your right forearm to rest on your right thigh. Inhale, right back to reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle, Parsvakonasana. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Let's stay right there in that side angle for a moment. Lots of options here. This pose, we're trying to find a long straight line from fingertips to left heel. You can also take the left hand into the air, drop that right, extended side angle, or even bind the hands. Open up the chest, take that left hand behind the back. Perhaps see if you can allow the two hands to meet up. Wherever you are on the exhale, we're going to release that pose. Just bring both hands to ground. Bring your stance in a little bit. Inhale, start to straighten the front leg. Let's come to a flat back position. Look forward. Lengthen the spine. On your exhale, we're going to fold back into that. You can bring hands to the ground, hands to blocks to either side of your shin, even behind your back here. You can try to keep a straight spine or even fold into this a bit, whatever you like. You're just looking for a really good hamstring stretch. And exhale, let's put a bend in the front leg. Bring both hands to ground. Let your left knee, top of the left foot drop to the ground. I'm going to bring both hands inside my right foot. I still have shoulders over my wrist here. Upright lizard. Little cat-cow action within this pose. As you inhale, let your belly drop. Take your shoulders back. Lift the chin. As you exhale, draw the belly button toward the spine. Lower chin to chest. Inhale, belly sinks, chest open, chin up. Exhale, round the back. Bring your gaze toward your navel. Your breath pace here, 3 to 4 more times. As you come back to that upright position, once again, shoulders over the wrist. Let's step back to plank. Exhale, down dog. Little revolve down dog. On your inhale, take a peek under the right armpit. Reach with the left hand for your left hip, or slide that left hand anywhere down the right leg. Exhale, back to down dog. Inhale, peek under the left armpit. Take that left hand to your right hand rather, to the left hip. Slide it anywhere you like down that left leg. The further you slide it down the leg, obviously the more stretch. And exhale, back to down dog. Inhale to plank. Flow through your Vinyasa. Remember, bring those knees to the ground as you chaturanga if you like. And on the exhale, let's put a bend in the knees. Just come to child's pose, 3 to 5 breaths. Take a moment to stretch it out there, any arm position you like. Inhale, we'll once again bring the hands forward. Slide forward to plank. Exhale, down dog. That same sequence on the left side. On the inhale, take your left foot into the air. Find your hip opener here. We may have left that out at some point. If so, we're catching it now. Inhale, take that foot high once again, and exhale, bring it forward. We're going to keep that right hand at ground. On the inhale, stretch that left hand high, revolved side angle. Again, think about narrowing your hips, bringing them along the center line of the mat. Exhale, hands to ground. Inhale, warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Plant that back foot, widen the arms to a T. Shoulders over hips, our gaze over the front middle finger. Fairly neutral spine. Sometimes we get a little lazy there and have a lot of curve in the lower back. Just try to neutralize your spine. Core is engaged. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Reach as far as you can. Find that length. Exhale, left hand sinks, right hand rises. Triangle pose. This time on the inhale, put a bend in the front leg, left hand over the head, right behind the back or at the thigh. Reverse warrior, pulling the core up and in, keeping the bend in the front leg. Left knee is just above the ankle or behind it. Exhale, side angle. If you find that left knee beyond your ankle at some point, you can widen your stance. Just make your stance a little wider. Again, straight line here from fingertips to right heel. Lots of options. We can also take an extended side angle or open it up a bit. Bring that right hand behind the back, open up the right shoulder. Maybe even find a bind, whatever feels good to you. Right shoulder back out of the ear. Any variation of the pose. Your next exhale, let's release. Bring those hands to ground. I'm going to step in just a bit. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Find some length in the spine. Exhale, I'm going to sink back into that. Again, you can try to keep that straight spine, or you can fold into that a bit more, whatever you prefer. Hands anywhere you like. Next exhale, put a bend in that front leg. Bring your right knee, top of the right foot to the ground. Both hands inside the left foot. An upright lizard. My shoulders are over the wrist. On the inhale, open the chest. Let your belly sink a bit. As you exhale, draw that belly towards your spine. Lower chin to chest. Inhale, belly drops. Chest open. Exhale, round the back. Gaze to your navel, your breath pace, 2 to 3 more times. Just follow your breath. As we bring awareness to our breath, maybe you can't get on your mat in the middle of a day every day, especially once we are back to our quote-unquote normal routine. But you can always come back to your breath, even in the middle of a meeting, a presentation, busy day with the kids. Just start to bring your awareness back to your breath. Slow your breath down. Do good things for your body there. As you're ready, shoulders over wrist, we'll step back to plank. Exhale, down dog. 3 to 5 breaths here, anything you need. On the inhale, little detour here. We're going to take the right foot into the air. Exhale, sweep it forward, place it on the mat. Inhale, bring those hands alongside the ears, sort of a runner's lunge, if you will. We're lining up the arms rather than having them at ground like a runner. We're keeping that nice long spine from our back heel to the top of our head, to the crown of our head. But we're going to line those arms up alongside the head as well. We're going to move from here to warrior 3. So think about trying to move your body in one nice long line. You're going to get grounded in that right foot. Think of your foot like a block. As you're ready, just tipping forward, coming into your warrior 3. Arms anywhere you like. You're fixing your gaze on some point that doesn't move to help with our balance. And when you're ready, just bring that foot back to ground, to the back of the mat, hands on the mat, step back to plank. Exhale, down dog. Couple breaths here. Same thing on the other side. Your inhale, take the left foot into the air. As you exhale, sweep it forward. Inhale, arms to either side of the ears. Find that nice long line. Think about where we're going. Start to get grounded in that left foot. Trying to keep a long line from fingertips to back heel. When you're grounded and ready, start to tip forward. Hands anywhere you like. Your gaze fixed on a drishti, a point that doesn't move. And when you're ready, bringing hands to ground, slowly bringing that back foot to the mat. Step back to plank. Go ahead and take a child's pose or flow through your vinyasa and make your way to child's pose. We're going to take 5 to 8 breaths in this child's pose. Again, any arm position you like. Sometimes at this point in the practice, I encourage my students to see their breath as a color, a pleasant color, a favorite color, a calming color to them. As you inhale, imagine that breath, that color filling your back, moving up and down the spine, filling that space and filling the space laterally in your back, moving side to side, bringing you what you need this evening. Your next inhale, let's slide forward to plank. On the inhale, lift your right foot, point the toe toward the back of your mat. Exhale, bring your foot back to plank. Inhale, lift your left foot, point the toe. Exhale, back to plank. Let's drop the knees to the ground. A little bit of cobra pose, locust pose. Cobra, let's just bring the elbows in close to the body, your fingertips spread wide on the mat, hands below your shoulders. I'm bringing my feet together. Think about a cobra, no legs, just a tail. So your legs are glued together. Imagine a zipper or some super glue holding your legs together. We're going to keep the legs, feet pressed into the mat. As you inhale, simply start to peel the chest from the ground. Use the strength of your spinal muscles, the core, to do most of the work here for you. A little bit of pressure in the hands, but most of the lifting being done by the strength of our spine. Chin lifted slightly, and exhale, bring that back to ground. Just rest your head on the mat. You can turn it to one side or the other if you like. Take a couple breaths here. We'll do that one more time. And your next inhale, again, press through the hip points, the legs, the feet. Start to peel the chest from the ground. Lift that chest toward the sky, really pressing the hip points, the pubic bone into the mat, keeping the shoulders back and down, chin lifted slightly. Squeeze the glutes, engage the core. Lifting, one last breath, and exhale, lower back to the mat. Just take your head to the other side, couple breaths on the mat. And locust pose. Let your chin rest on the mat for a moment. We're going to bring our arms wide to either sides of the mat like a bird, if you will. On the inhale, we're going to press through the hip points, the pubic bone once again. Same kind of action, still using the spinal muscles, the core to lift, but lifting this time upper and lower portions of the body. So as you inhale, begin to lift. Press through the hip points, press through the pubic bone, ground there. Chest is open, shoulder blades being drawn together, arms lifted. Hands anywhere you like. You can even use cactus position. Bring them forward, keep them back, whatever feels good to you. Lift those feet, lift the chest. One last breath here, and exhale, bring it back to the mat. You can see me shaking. One of the things I most loved about yoga when I tried it, to watch yoga looks easy. Many times after people have tried it that first time, their reaction is, wow, that wasn't as easy as I thought. And that was one of the appealing things for me. Physically challenging as well as great for my mind. Let's fall back into maybe our last child's pose here. 5 to 8 breaths once again. And as you're ready, we'll rise to an upright position. I'm going to check our time. We're okay on time. Let's extend your right leg out. I'm modeling. I'm doing the opposite, so this I think would look like your right leg, but once we play this back, who knows? Your right leg extended, your left foot against your thigh. Inhale, we're going to reach up, stretch up. As you exhale, twist toward the outside edge of your foot. Fold forward. Hands anywhere you might reach here. They may be around your shin. You might be able to reach your ankle or your foot. Just come into a good fold here. Looking for a good stretch. Think about rotating your inner shoulder, the inside shoulder down just a bit. It's likely wanting to pop up. Inhale, we'll take those hands to the sky, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. That foot that's inside the thigh, just pop that to the ground. We're going to sweep your extended leg in. You can leave this leg inside the thigh, rest it outside, and you can even wrap your extended leg in close to the body, your heel against the hip. Looking for a nice tall spine here, so take a moment once again to set up nice and tall. On the inhale, you're lifting your left arm into the air, and as you exhale, just plant it right behind the spine. This arm wrapping around the knee, you can use it to nestle against the knee. I often don't cue it that way in class just because sometimes folks have a tendency to crank, as I like to call it, and maybe come into their twist a bit deeper than they're ready for. So whatever feels good to you, just again think about that nice tall spine on your inhale, looking over the shoulder on the exhale. A couple more breaths here. And your exhale, release. Let's do the same thing the opposite direction. So you're going to extend your left leg. Your right foot is resting inside the thigh. Inhale, arms into the air, stretch up, and the exhale, twist toward the outside edge of your foot. Fold forward. Hands wherever they might come for you, just looking for your stretch. Notice that left shoulder, it probably wants to pop up. You're trying to square your shoulders with the ground. And inhale, stretch those hands into the air. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bring that extended leg in. We're popping that foot to ground. Same options. Rest the foot inside the thigh, outside. You can take the twist from there or bring that leg in. If that compromises your tall spine, if you're slumped over there, just take the foot back out and you'll take the twist from that position right there. Inhale your right hand into the air. As you exhale, plant it just behind the spine. Finding some length, some space between the vertebrae on the inhale, twisting on the exhale. Exhale, slowly release. Take a moment and unwind. Let's work our way to the lying position. We often do this in class. You can come to lying however you choose, but if you want to get just a little more work from it, And you can even use a block for this if you've got a yoga block. You can bring your hands around a block and simply press those pinkies into the block. Otherwise, if no block, and if you wish, lower back as slowly as you can. You're scooping in that belly, engaging the core. So if you've got any lower back issues or this starts to bother your lower back, you just want to roll to the side and lie down. If this works for you, lying down as slowly as you can, as if you're placing one vertebra at a time on that mat. We'll put a bend in the knees, bring your feet to the mat. Let's widen the arms to a T on the inhale, bring your knees back into the air. As you exhale, we're going to let those knees fall to the right side of the mat. Your gaze can stay at the ceiling or come to the left hand. Your eyes might be closed at this point in the practice. Find your happy place here. If you're a beach person, think of yourself sinking into soft, warm sand. Maybe you're lying in an open field of grass. Daisies, daffodils all around you. The wind blowing. Sinking into the earth. Starting to let go. Nice deep breaths. Your next inhale, let's bring those knees back to center. Your gaze to center. As you exhale, allow the knees to fall gently the opposite direction. Your gaze to the ceiling or the right hand. Perhaps eyes closed again, and letting the body feel heavy sink. Imagine your body melting into the earth. Inhale, let's bring the knees back to center. As you exhale, tuck the knees to the chest. One last little hug, side to side rock, whatever you need. I'm going to come to seated so I can talk to you guys a little more easily. You stay on your backs. If there's a stretch you still need, a posture you'd like to take before you wind down your practice, make time to do so. Listen to your body. If there's something still calling to you, feel free to take that in our last few moments. I'd encourage you to make time for Shavasana. I'm guilty as well, especially in a home practice sometimes, of getting the meat, if you will, of the practice and skipping out on Shavasana because I think there are other things calling to me, things that need to be done. But make time for yourself, especially right now. Everyone else can wait a few minutes longer, so take time for Shavasana. As you're ready, just find a relaxed position on your backs. Just like the beginning of the practice, you can have your legs outstretched or feet on the mat, knees bent. Notice in particular the parts of the body making contact with the ground, like the back of the head, the shoulder blades. Imagine these points as being so heavy you could feel yourself melting into the earth. Backs of your hips, the bottom, depending on your position, perhaps the calves, the heels, any place in the arms, legs, hands, feet, making contact with the ground. Just allow yourself to melt into the earth. Relax the muscles in your face. Release your jaw. Allow your collarbone to be nice and wide. You might walk those shoulders into the back once again. And then soften the belly, come back to your breath. Let your belly fill with air as you breathe in, knowing that air is bringing you what you need. And your exhale, simply notice the movement through the torso as you breathe out. I invite you to stay here in this Shavasana as long as you can. I'll simply slip out of your practice, but you stay right there if you can. It's always a pleasure to practice with you guys. I sincerely miss each one of you, and again look forward to the day when we can be reunited and practicing in the same room together. I hope this video finds you safe, well, and at peace. Thanks for allowing me into your home today. The light and love in me humbly acknowledges the light and love in each one of you. Namaste.